And good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope that you all are doing okay today. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and share the video. That helps the channel, but definitely hit the like button. Today, I wanted to come in because I was on live last night and I was tired all day yesterday because, as I was saying earlier, well, as I was saying yesterday, we're kind of dealing with some stuff where I had to get the FBI involved. Um, some a couple vloggers violated me, and they're working with some more people, and of course, the some stuff has been found out, and they're working on it. It's crazy, but as I always say, it ain't gonna stop over here. The only thing, as I've always said, even as it relates to this young Dolph's case, as it relates to anything, a lot of what these people do is they kind of put the people on their own trail, like, and it just gets longer because more and more people, if they weren't involved, they kind of get themselves involved, when they don't necessarily have to be. But like I said, it don't stop over here. I'm a Leo, and I've always been, like this, quiet and aggressive, laid back and aggressive. I ain't gonna do you wrong, but when you come after me, it don't stop. You have to come after me first. You have to come into my territory, okay? And then we're able to play ball. And so that's basically what we've been doing. And like I said, it's all good. It's a sad thing though. It's a sad thing, but it's all good. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, because it ain't gonna stop. The only thing they did was they've gotten themselves caught up in stuff they didn't necessarily have to get themselves caught in. And the sad thing about it is a couple people, I think I've been very responsible. I never would say anything bad about them. People was dogging them out. You know, try to remain neutral and everything. So anyways, interesting. But you guys, I wanted to talk about, what's causing the violence and the crime in Memphis. And I think I've always spoken about how poverty ignites crime. But also, you're starting to see a lot of the younger people, especially these younger young men that are now joining these gangs and things of that nature. They're on Percocets, they're on heroin, they're consistently drinking that lean, and it affects their brain. Because lean is liquid, really liquid heroin. Um, what else is it on? That horse medicine, that fentanyl. It's sad on so many levels. And so that's why you're starting to see so many young people become zombified. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so hard on a lot of the people that are my age, that are in their 40s. When you start hearing me talk about other people, when I know that they have been sending out a lot of these young zombified people instead of taking them up under their wing and truly trying to help them to make a difference, right? And so, somebody got on my thing last night, was like, stop speaking on Memphis business. They being traced too. I want them to know that. Um, and I want them to know I am Memphis. I was probably Memphis, probably way before they was ever even thought of. That's if they're from Memphis, you know. That's if they're from Memphis. Um, but I am Memphis. And that's why you always see me. I'm so passionate because I understand that even though our youth and these younger people are zombified at this point, I'm very passionate about that. With our program, with the Cornelia Crenshaw Foundation program, we help. You would be surprised because we offer programs with that organization. You would be surprised at the amount of young people, and I'm talking about, that are in their late teens and early 20s that don't even know how to read. And so that's why I get so upset. And that's a lot of the problem. That's what's causing a lot of this violence. A lot of these kids are not being guided, because you have to think about, how can a kid either go to school and go through school and not know how to read, or they have parents that don't make them go to school, where and it's not working with them at home. There's no guidance at home. And that's why you can see so many young people that are out like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning selling drugs, and they're 11 and 12 and 13 years old. It's messed up on so many levels. And so, like I said, because I understand, like with the youth, and they have parents who are just as messed up, no guidance, no grandmothers, at this point, that are guiding them. It's like generational curses. Everybody is on drugs, and it's just kind of messed up in Memphis. And it breaks my heart, because I came up during the time where the community, even if they was poor, they kind of stuck together. And these old motherfuckers, Lord forgive me, I get mad, that have gotten out of the community, that are in their 40s, they had the opportunity. They know what it's like, and they understand what the community was like back in the day. That's why I can't understand how they get their asses out the community, and then they send destruction back. That pisses me off. That sends my blood boiling, because I am a mother, and I have children in their 20s. So when I see these 20-year-old kids, and they know better, they got to go do their time. But when I see them around here making all of these crazy decisions, I know they're on something, and they are being misguided. Oftentimes, when these young dudes, especially when they were in gangs, they would go to the OGs when they got ready, and still do it. When they got ready to go make crash dummy decisions, the OGs will redirect them. Now these old ass niggas still want to be gangsters, and they got a damn foot in the grave, instead of changing their lives so that they can help to change lives. They're not doing that. They won't, and these kids would, the younger generation would always go to the OGs, and the OGs will redirect them. They're not doing it now. Now they'll tell them, yeah, go ahead and do that, because they messed their lives up. They want to see these kids mess their lives up. I was listening to somebody the other day on live. Well, it wasn't the other day, it was a while ago. Say, well, you know, um, you know, if I went to jail plenty of times, and I ain't say nothing. Sometimes I didn't even commit the crime, but I just kept my mouth closed. Nigga looked like he was about 50 something. I kept my mouth closed, so that they just gonna have to go through it too. That's what I'm talking about. Like, our people are screwed up. We go through so that the younger generations don't have to go through. That's the problem. People are so damaged. They want to see people go through exactly what they've gone through. Ain't no way in hell that I would ever want to see a young girl go through anything that I went through that was bad. If I can help her, I could tell a little sister, you know what? If I got her ear, I went that same route and I had trouble. Maybe you want to rethink that, but people are so messed up because I went through it. They got to go through it. People are, I mean, and I'm talking about older people just completely screwed up, instead of trying to help these younger people, because they completely messed up. It's bad enough they already impoverished, ain't got no guidance. Okay, because their parents are more than likely on something and messed up. And then they're looking to the OGs out in the community, and they got their dumbasses on YouTube getting traced, thinking they scaring somebody else, and ain't. Okay. So that's why you always hear me say there has to be like a renewal of the mind, because it's not helping these younger generations to see their fathers. You're talking about a lot of generational curses. These young men now in their 20s, they have little sons. They're out there in gangs. They're looking to their OGs. Their OGs sending them straight out because they low down as hell to go do crash dummy stuff. And they're putting themselves in a position where they got to go away and be away for the rest of their lives. Because if you think these people playing with you, they're not. They are not. They have turned up times 10 behind the scenes. I'm talking about the authorities. So they have little children and they're out there in the street. They're putting themselves in a position to die early and leave their children without fathers, because people can change their lives as they get older, but they're not living to do that. Or they're putting themselves in a position to go be behind bars for the rest of their life. And it's extremely hurtful to me that you see a lot of OGs and they're not trying to redirect that. They're actually encouraging them to do crash dummy stuff. If you got some little dudes up under you and your ass is old, you're in your late 30s and 40s, and you ain't redirecting them, you pitiful. You pitiful. Instead, you got a lot of men in their late 30s and 40s right here on YouTube doing criminal stuff. Okay, and encouraging criminal things. And they got children. So you can only imagine what they passing down to them. It's like generational curses. So it's sad when a lot of these younger people, and like I say, I'm very passionate about it. I don't get on here and just talk shit for nothing. It bothers me because I've been around this forever. I worked for the police department for 18 years. I still get contracted work from the federal government, where I have to go out and investigate child custody cases and things, a whole lot of other stuff. And so I see, especially with a lot of these child welfare cases and custody cases, it's messed up on so many levels. What people are doing with their children to their children, especially a lot of these women, because they're messed up and on stuff. And it's sad when the younger generation, when they have to go out to the street to look for acceptance and love, and these OGs with their old asses give them the wrong type of love. They put a gun in their hand instead of a book in their hand. They all not want to see them go through what they went through. Because a lot of these OGs ain't went through a damn thing. They came up in a time where the community still would feed you. You can go to Miss Lula Mae's house and eat if you was hungry, because she looked out for the community. They came up during that time, but yet they won't help these children. And so sometimes that's why I say God, and I know it might be wrong with a lot of these older ones. Sometimes they need to go and die out. Okay? Because because they are the ones that's sending the venom and putting the venom in these younger kids, because they don't really even know any better. You're talking about poverty, and I understand poverty ignites crime, but if you're in a position that you can help to change your community, why don't you do that? But sometimes people don't want that. Like I was talking about that crabs in the barrel mentality on YouTube that's ready to send some YouTubers to jail. Okay? But a lot of times people don't want that because they want to be the only person at the top. And they want to be able to give you crumbs to go and do crash dummy stuff. And these kids are already hurting. They're already impoverished, and they're already suffering. That's why I can cuss them out and talk about them. But I'm going to tell you something. I got a heart for them. I still got a heart for them, because I see this mess every day and I understand. So the violence and stuff is not going to stop, and then until a lot of these older people, because it has to start with our generation, start sending the right type of love back. Because putting a gun in their hand and instigating stuff, that ain't it. And then they have the nerve to get mad when somebody call that mess out. That's what I do. I call it out, because it ain't right. Nigga, if you're in your late 30s and 40s, your day is, you ought to be ready to ride off into the sunset and just chill and sit back and smile and watch these young folks do it. Instead, they sending destruction back and messing these young people up. And God ain't pleased with that. We got politicians. My dad was one of the realest elected officials. I brag about him all day, every day, because I saw him do it. That I know, but we don't have a whole lot of elected officials that's really for the community, that's pouring back into the community, putting programs back into the community. That's why I can always salute Grove Hero, because he's about doing that. That's what you're supposed to do. You have a responsibility to the community that's helping to put money into your pocket, especially when you know these people are hurting. Ain't nobody looking at you as no damn king, and you ain't doing king stuff. But yet we'll take out the very people that has a heart to put stuff back in the community, to gather around the people that are bloodsuckers of the community. I don't understand that. These young boys don't know no better. They already cracked out. They messed up on drugs, which is altering their thinking. And then they got a lot of hurt that come out of their homes, the majority of them. And then they got people influencing them wrong on the street, and that's messed up on so many levels. You got men choosing to go and do hits and stuff for other men while their sons are left in the same impoverished communities where it's crime ridden, and then they become a product of that because they have to take their ignorant asses away to jail, all because they wanted to be another man's flunky and then left their children out there. Their children and their women is messed up on so many levels. That's why when people get to talking about these politicians, I always say, well, what you gonna do about it? I don't let people. One thing that I can't stand, that is a person that has it in them, because they normally messed up, to incite a riot, to get people emotional. You don't come and tell me nothing unless you got some kind of plan. What's the plan? So what we gonna do to fix this? You want to get me all excited to get out and start going breaking out windows and things of that nature. Okay, so how is that going to be beneficial to me? Because you ain't doing nothing but tearing up your own damn neighborhoods that you got to live in. How can we be proactive? You want to get me emotional, you need to have a plan, but people don't have that. They want to get you emotional to do their dirty work or to get your money. And then you still living in the same conditions when they'll say, we all gonna get together and we better get these politicians out of here. We all gonna get out in droves. And then that's what's gonna change our community, and the money gonna start flourishing. And we vote in somebody else and they don't do what they're supposed to do. We're gonna get their asses out of there, and they're gonna know they can't play with the Black community, but we don't do that. And then we listen to somebody who ain't nothing, just a shyster. And that's how people play the community, because as Black people, we're so emotional. But see, I don't play that. Okay, because you better believe when I get emotional, it's because I got a plan. Do you want to hear my plan? Because I already know it starts with voting out the right people, and being in the home with your children and choosing the right fathers and stuff. Okay, because we have to start choosing the right people to co-parent with. We have to start doing that. We have to take responsibility for our bad decisions. And that's the problem. People don't want to take responsibility for when they do wrong. They want to outsource everything instead of dealing with themselves, y'all. It's going to have to start with us. We're going to have to deal with us. And then we'll have to come up with a plan, because we're stronger in numbers. But we got to stop putting people on pedestals that think they're kings and ain't doing nothing but destroying our community, ain't putting nothing back into the community but destruction. If you go put a business back in the community, you ain't helping that damn community. That community is helping you, because they patronizing your business. So how you feel like that's helping them? When you start putting programs and things of that nature back into the community, programs that's active and truly doing something, that's when you can say you're doing something for your community. Other than that, you're a bloodsucker of the community, because we could do it without your damn business. Okay? And I get emotional because I've been doing this. I've been seeing my dad do this for over 30 years. I didn't start getting into it until later. I didn't understand. Me and my sisters didn't understand when my dad was out there running for office and doing all kinds of stuff. He was staying away from home and dealing with all of these civil rights people and politicians. We didn't understand that. We didn't give a damn. All we knew is that it kept him away from us. But now I understand. And it's a thankless job. Our community is in a bad state. But it's going to have to start with us. We got to get away from that crabs in a barrel mentality. There is strength in numbers. The Black community can put in any politicians that we want if we all came together, but instead we only complain. Then we have to take care of our own home. These men got to stop turning their backs on their sons to be damn hitmen, okay? Because if that ain't pitiful, I don't know what is. When you decide to go and commit crimes like that, you turning your back on your children because you're going to get caught or gunned down. You putting your family in a position to be retaliated on. I don't understand that. It has the Black man is supposed to be the head of his household. And that ain't happening. More women are being forced to step up to the front. And a lot of them are getting on things too. That's why a lot of stuff is out of order. They being forced to be the protectors when the man is supposed to be the protector. Instead, they done took on protecting another damn man. Or gang. And it's messed up. Ain't nobody stepping up to tell their sons to go another route. Because they're putting themselves in a position to be dead or to be in jail. You can't do a damn thing for your child locked up. Not nothing. Okay? So y'all, that's what's causing the violence. It's a multitude of things. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm just gonna end it right there. I had to put that out because, like I said, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about that live last night, and it ain't gonna stop over here. I'm not an easy person to scare. If they only knew, it don't stop. It just keeps coming. That's how we do it. We keep it coming. But I think it's messed up on so many levels. I would expect that from kids in their teens and early 20s, but these Negroes in their late 30s and 40s and 50s, you straight out pitiful. When they're supposed to be setting examples, but instead they on damn YouTube causing problems. So there has to be it starts with the renewal of the mind, y'all. It does. And poverty ignites crime. We got to start putting in people, and I'm talking about, and let it be like all across 50 states. Start paying closer attention to your local politicians, not just your president. Your local politicians are the ones that delegate your resources that come into the community. Do y'all know how much money the Black community have to come into our community? And you got politicians that hijack that money. They're not delegating a lot of them don't delegate those funds like that. We don't even know how much because we don't go down there. Instead of trying to figure out what's going, trying to get these prosecutors to tell y'all what's going on with this Dolph situation and not wait for the trial. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be demanding and seeing what these politicians are doing because we can do that. What kind of resources, what kind of grants came in for the Fraser community or the Fraser community gets so many grants, it's ridiculous. How much were they? How was it delegated? But we don't do that. And if it was not delegated right, and it wasn't, because is there any money being pumped into these communities, into the Whitehaven community? No. What are they doing with that money then? But we don't do that because we keep our mind into too much mess. And people are able to play us, y'all. And until we change our mindset, there's going to continuously be violence in the community. There's going to continuously be poverty within our community. And it's going to, the crime is going to continue because our thinking is completely left. It is. Okay. But for those of you all that, that make sure that you hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also share the video. I want you guys to know that I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later.